I'm Gerri Willis. We're expecting word any minute now from the NTSB on the deadly Amtrak derailment. We know right now at least 7 are dead and more than 200 injured after the train headed for New York derailed in Philadelphia. You're looking at pictures of it right here. Investigators confirming the train was speeding 100 miles per hour as it rounded a tight turn, double the speed advised, which was 50 miles per hour. One of our regular guests on this show is the editor-in-chief of campusreform.org. He was on that train, Caleb Bonham. Caleb was one of the 238 passengers, and he joins us now from Philadelphia. Caleb, welcome back to the show, but under tough circumstances, my friend. You have to tell me how you're doing today, first off, and then tell me about the experience.
Well, thank you for having me, Gerri, and thank you for all the kind words and prayers that have been offered up. Yeah, all my thoughts and prayers, and I know that the majority of the country are going out to the families that have lost loved ones, and this is a tragedy of monumental proportions. Yeah, I'm feeling better. The body's a little beat up, but I'm not complaining because I was able to walk away and many people weren't.
You know, I heard you speak about this earlier in the day, and what was interesting to me, you were at the back of the train and you had very little notice that anything was going to happen. It came as a huge shock. Describe that scene to me. What happened in the car you were sitting in?
You know, I've heard a lot of different accounts, but my account is very simple. I was just sitting there relaxing, listening to my iPod, listening to a few podcasts, some music, and all of a sudden started to see my computer shake a little bit, which was on the empty seat next to me. And next thing I knew, I saw it in the air, and then I was on the other side of the train, and everything was black. So the time frame that it took was instant to me. It happened, there was no gap. It went from peaceful, quiet, maybe a little shaking, which is normal on a train, and then all the way on the other side of the train, and you definitely know something bad happened.
What was the point of impact like? What did that feel like to you?
Well, I'm feeling it today. I don't remember feeling it last night. It was sort of open the eyes and realize that there's a lot of dust that's floating around. There's a lot of possibly smoke. At the time, people were getting concerned inside of the train that there was possibly smoke that was going to fill this thing up, and now you're dealing with a whole nother set of problems. And so, it was literally taking the moment one step at a time, trying to get your bearings, trying to understand what happened, and then looking for people to help.
Did your iPod, did your laptop, did everything fly through the air?
Everything did fly through the air. In fact, there was a situation with my phone. I was unable to reach my dad at home and my sister and let them know that I was okay. I was panicking a little bit because the phone was gone. The computer was gone. I had no way of messaging them. And I finally was able to log on to Facebook and let them know that I was okay at least. And it was only because of the grace of a young man that was walking around with his computer out and his MiFi telling, hey, if you guys need to use my computer, you're more than welcome to use my computer.
So people helping people, obviously. Was it tough getting out of the car that you were in? Was it on its side? Was it sitting in kilter? Describe.
Yeah, so our train was the very back train. Some of the cars in the front, from my understanding, had rolled. They had tipped over completely. Ours was on the verge of tipping over completely, and you felt it on the inside. When we were helping people get out of the train, you saw chairs that had been completely disconnected from their frames. The padding was ripped off, and all you saw was exposed sharp metal. People were trying to get through that, and there were some situations where there was some gentlemen that were holding chairs up so that you would clear the walkway so that people could get through. It was really rough, and we didn't know what was on the other side of where this train was going to tip over, if it was going to. So it was at there was a guest earlier that described it maybe at a 30-degree angle, and that's probably a fair assessment. It was a steep little incline to try to get out of the back of the car, but once you were out, people were there to catch you, to help you down. And there was a lot of people just with a servant's heart looking to help people in a tough situation.
So by the time you're exiting this train car, there are already safety personnel on the scene helping people. Is that right? Tell me what you saw in terms of injuries, in terms of what was going on with people who were being moved away from this disaster.
The injuries are always difficult to analyze because there was, and I don't mean to be gruesome, there was literally blood everywhere in some of these situations. There were people that weren't terribly injured. I was on a bus to go to a hospital with a gentleman who was a little, he hit his head pretty hard, but his entire shirt was covered in blood, and it was other people's blood, and that's the dangerous thing. There were a lot of people that had really serious injuries. When I was walking to try to get to the front of the car in one situation, there was a lady that I asked her, "Hey, how you doing? Are you okay? You're covered in blood." She said, "Yeah, I lost my teeth." And she showed me and she had lost all of her teeth. You get outside of the bus, and the car, there was people with broken legs, and all of the critical injuries were obviously put into the ambulances first. They then directed the people on scene, did I think as best of a job as you could under those circumstances, directing people and maintaining order. In that chaotic situation, saying if you can walk and you think you're hurt, then get onto this bus, we're going to take you to this hospital. But if there is a critical injury that needs to be taken care of immediately, we're going to have the staff to do that. And as far as I saw, the staff of all the hospitals in the Philadelphia area did a phenomenal job taking care of every single person that said that they needed care, no matter how big or how small the injury. And I have seen nothing but people reaching out and looking to help others.
Well, Caleb, heroics, it sounds like, by safety personnel there, the police force, emergency personnel across the board. And boy, are you great at describing the scene. Caleb, I want you to stay with us.
Well, that's what you got to be, Gerri. That's what you got to be so thankful of. I was. Not in New York City on September 11th, but I heard the descriptions, and it really resonates when I see it in this situation where people are exiting a very dangerous situation. There are live power lines that this train went through that were active, that were on the ground, that could electrocute people at any moment. And as people are exiting and trying to leave a dangerous situation, these brave and heroic men and women are running into the situation, carrying these gigantic jaws of life to hop on a train and break it open and make sure that they can save whoever's in there. That's what a hero really is.
Running towards the danger and not away from it. It's impressive.